Today on Network Africa, Gabonese President Ali Bongo accuses international observers of being biased towards his country's presidential election. Separatist rebels claim they have killed 12 soldiers in Angola. And the Nigerian army picks up another Boko Haram suspect on the wanted list. Let's begin Network Africa. Hello everyone, I am Amarachi Ubani. Gabon's incumbent president Ali Bongo has taken a swipe at international observers of the country's election after they criticized the process. He told France's RTL radio the observers, specifically mentioning the EU mission, overstepped their mission. The EU had on Tuesday questioned the legitimacy of the election results, saying there was a clear anomaly in the results from President Bongo's home province after official figures from Haut-Ogooué showed a turnout of 99.93%, with over 95% of the votes cast for Mr. Bongo. The president's main rival in the polls, career diplomat Jean Ping, lost by less than 6,000 votes. He's called out the Electoral Commission on the results, also insinuating foul play and calling to question results from Mr. Bongo's hometown. He's recently called for a general strike, claiming many of his supporters have been killed in violent clashes since the results were announced. Meanwhile, the EU observer team says it has details about the anomalies that it was talking about concerning the election in Gabon. Spokesperson for the team, Sarah Crozier, said observers noted a much lower turnout nationally than was recorded in Mr. Bongo's political base, and the tabulations from his provinces showed anomalies for those who had not voted, as well as the number of void votes. She said, and I'm quoting here, with the turnout of 99.93% and 71,000 voters, you will have only 47 people not voting, and we found there were polling stations declaring results of those who did not vote that were totaling to a figure above that 47. Suggesting a way forward, Ms. Crozier said the EU was not necessarily calling for a recount, but the publication of the polling station results at a different level. She did not, however, rule out having a recount of the votes. The VOA's Idrissa Fall joins me now from Bamako. Idrissa, great to have you again on the program.
Hello, and thank you for having me, and hi to the viewers of Channels TV.
We're glad to have you. What's been the reaction of the Gabonese people to the accusations by the EU that there were anomalies in the election?
Well, the government rejected them, and especially the President Ali Bongo this morning in 3 major French radios accused them of being biased. But the opposition is calling for a recount also. And as you know, in Gabon, it's a very divided country now. There are those militant for jumping and the others for the government. I think they are very, very, very divided. But people tend to forget that inside the Electoral Commission, normally they were supposed to publish the result 72 hours after the election. It was last Tuesday. And in the Electoral Commission, you have 4 members of the government and 4 members of the opposition. And they recounted the vote into the province of Haut-Ogooué. And they did not agree, and they proceeded to a vote in which 4 people said yes, 3 abstention, and 1 who voted against it. It was after that that the Senate, the Electoral Commission, the Minister of Interior published the result. So people are talking about recount and recount, but it was already done. And Bongo, the president, is saying that if people ask him to recount, he's going against the law. because it is the Senate, the Electoral Commission, which have to count. And if you have to recount, you have to go to the Constitutional Court, and the opposition has until tomorrow, meaning 1 week after they publish the results, to go to Constitutional Court for any claims. So here we are.
Yeah, and much of the international community is saying, especially, I think even France is even calling for a recount of the vote. But the president insists that the observers overstepped their mission. Would you agree?
Well, to be honest, I know that when the European Union was giving its press conference, some journalists criticized that because they said first everything was fine, and then we have something went wrong, and then we asked them, what did you observe? And the lady, I don't remember her name, Gabrielle something, said that we were not here to observe. And even colleagues were upset by what they were saying. You are an observer's mission from Europe, and you come and you say your mission is not to observe. So even so, I don't know what kind of observers is that. I don't know. And really, what they said and say they did not say it, I really don't understand those observers. I don't know what their job is. So.
Idrissa, in all of this, we've heard nothing from the president's main stronghold, Hotogwe, where nearly everyone was set to come out to vote. I mean, those are astonishing figures, 99.93% of people coming out to vote. How do they feel being dragged into the spotlight like this?
Well, for people from Hotogwe, it's very complicated. You have some rallies in Franceville after they publish the results. But for people coming out from Hotogwe, let's say living in Libreville, some of them feel very, very uncomfortable right now because they say now the province is singularized inside Gabon. And that's true. But I hope it would not end up against a kind of resentment against everybody coming out from that province. But it's there. I heard some people saying that.
Idrissa, very quickly, how has security been across the country generally?
Well, security, you know, people had been looting, and people talk about a lot about Libreville, but looting went throughout major cities until Franceville, Mouila. But now it's calming down a little bit. But the political situation is still tense. But nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow.
Idrissa, thank you so much for your reporting. Really appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you.
In other news, 12 Angolan soldiers have been killed in what appears to be a revenge over a flare-up of violence in the northern Bukavu region near the border with the Republic of Congo. The soldiers were killed by separatist rebels who have now reported more than 50 deaths since fighting broke out in August. A Front for the Liberation of the Enclave of Cabinda said it ambushed the soldiers. It's now stepped up activities since the death of its 88-year-old founder, Nzita Tiago, in June, and reported clashes with government troops in August. A group fought a low-level insurgency for 4 decades in the thin enclave sandwiched between Democratic Republic of Congo and the Republic of Congo. Meanwhile, in Uganda, leader of a Muslim rebel group, Jamil Mukulu, has been charged with treason and murder. He will spend the next 14 months in jail, according to the courts. Mukulu was arrested in Tanzania last year after eluding capture for more than a decade. He is alleged to be the head of the Allied Democratic Forces, a rebel group operating between Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda since the 1990s. The Ugandan government has accused the group of being behind the killings of Muslim clerics in 2014. It has also accused them of planning to topple the government. When we come back on Network Africa, we follow discussions at the African Green Revolution Forum holding in Kenya. More on this, please join us again.